Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay Medina, and today we're going to be talking about personal finance. Here in my channel, we focus on business, personal finance, game, style, and maximizing confidence. So if that's something you're into, do us both a favor and smash that subscribe button. Personal finance is something that's very important for everyone. You need to know how to manage your money. Back when I was in business school, I was actually considering becoming an accounting major because my business professor used to tell me all the time that accounting was the language of business. And it's very true, because when it comes to any business, if you know how the balance sheet is operating, how the income statement is looking, you can make better business decisions, and you can tell right off the bat if that business is going to be successful or if it's going to go under. Same thing applies for us in our personal finances. We all have our own balance sheet, our own income statement. We have to budget ourselves. So the better that you are in understanding these numbers, these concepts, the better investments that you can make in yourself and for your future. So today I have my whiteboard here in the back. I've gotten a lot of requests to talk about personal finance. So I think I need to start off in the basics. And I think that the very first part is to understand how to budget properly. The next following videos, I'm going to be talking about assets, liabilities, how to read a balance sheet, how to understand an income statement. So let's go ahead and get to the whiteboard. If you're watching this in the morning, go ahead and pour you up a nice coffee. If you're watching this at night, go ahead and pour yourself a nicer drink. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so the very first thing here is, this is budgeting for bachelors and bachelorettes. So any of you guys out there trying to get that money right, perfect budget for you. And also for the ladies, this is a great budget that you can also use as well. A lot of times these two right here are swapped out. So a lot of people think that you should pay your fixed costs first and then your investments. But I like to think that you need to pay yourself first. You have to pay into your investments first before you go into your fixed cost. So as you can see here, investments comes number one, and I'll probably put like a 1 here. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. This is the last. If we were to rank this by importance, investments would be number 1. All right, so as you can see here, investments, we are allocating 10 to 20% of our income. So for example, if we were to get, let's say, $1,500, not even, let's make it easy. Let's make it easier, and let's do $1,000. So let's say that you get paid $1,000. Those $1,000, the first thing that you should do with that money when it comes in, when it hits that bank account, is to allocate 10 to 20% into investments. 10 to 20% would be around $100 to $200 of that money. You want to stay more on the higher end when it comes to your investments, because this is where you're investing into assets. Assets is what's going to pay you more money. It's going to give you more money back. A rule of thumb is to always invest into assets. And so we're going to invest. It's better to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to investing into your investments. So I would say stay to the 20% range, which is around $200 for this example. But if you can't, you can do from 100 to 200. If you want to be a little bit more minimal, maybe something's going on that month and you need a little bit more wiggle room with your money, you can invest 10%. But you always want to have some type of money, at least 10%, that you're allocating into your investments. That's the very first thing that you want to do. One of my business professors used to tell me, my accounting professor used to always say, you have to pay yourself first. Shout out to Ed Blair. He was one of my favorite teachers back in school. He used to always say, pay yourself first. Every time that you get paid, pay yourself first. So that's the number 1 when it comes to investments. Examples of our investments can be like your Roth IRA, which is a retirement account. It's a great retirement account that you can have. You can open that with Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. There's a lot of brokers that help you create a Roth IRA. You can also do a 401k. That's another alternative for other people. So, it's between the Roth IRA and the 401k that are great investments for you. And then we also have index funds. Index funds, you can invest into that same thing with a broker. You can have either Vanguard, Fidelity, and they'll allow you to invest into those index funds. And I'm going to jump into this a lot more once we start rolling on with these videos. But as for right now, we're just going to focus on budgeting. And then the next thing is commodities. So you can also invest in commodities. Commodities can be like oil, gold, silver. It can be land, so real estate. You can invest into that type of category. And the next thing we have here is fixed cost. So fixed cost, that usually takes up the majority of your income, and that would be around 50 to 60%. So your fixed costs can be examples like your rent, your utilities, and any debt that you have. That can be like credit card debt, student loans. That would be under your fixed cost. So there, it would be 50% to 60%. Out of $1,000, that would be around $500 to $600. So you would allocate that money for that, pay it off. Well, one thing that I would mention is that you want to keep your debt low, your liabilities low. So if you have, you don't want to, especially as a young guy, I think a lot of young guys fall into the trap of wanting to buy a nice, fast, flashy car or truck, and that's considered a liability if you're not using it for work, or if it's not giving you a return on your investment. So be careful when you're making big purchases like that, because you will fall under the category of debt, and you will gather more liabilities as opposed to having more assets. So you don't want to fall for those traps. I think as a young guy, I always had like that temptation from my friends to invest into like a car, the flashy things, but kind of stay away from that. Try to look at it with this lens for as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. Look at it through this lens of accounting, through business, and you'll see that that's not the best investment. So that would be debt. Utilities, rent, we have to pay that. We have to have a place to live, so that can always help you. And the next thing here would be savings. So savings comes in number 3. That would be from 5 to 10%. This would be some examples of this would be your vacations, buying gifts for your girlfriend or for your boyfriend. Number 3 would be unexpected expenses. So having maybe like a savings cushion, so you can be okay in case something happens. Like you have an emergency savings account that in case there's a rainy day, you can pull out of the savings account and you can use it. So this can be like your car. You might get a flat tire. You might get something might happen to your vehicle, or something. It's just like an emergency fund. They usually say that you want to have at least 3 months to 6 months of emergency savings, just in case something happens. What I come to realize is that Murphy's Law is very real, and that things are going to eventually go south. So you always want to have like an emergency fund that can help you for those rainy days. So the last thing here would be guilt-free spending. And I think this is everyone's favorite here. This is my favorite. After you allocated your money properly with your investments coming in at number 1, paying your fixed costs, then your savings, you can jump into guilt-free spending, which would be 20 to 30% of your money. That's like around 200 to 300 back to our example. And this would be examples like dining out, drinking, movies, or hot dates with your lady friend or with your guy friend. This is like your fun money, right? You can go out and have a good time. If you're taking care of all of your expenses, this is money that you can go out and just have fun with. And you really from my experience, is like you really want to have that balance where you actually can go out and have guilt-free spending, and you can enjoy your money, the money that you're making for yourself, and you can enjoy life a little bit. So I love this part. The only thing I would mention here is that as long as you don't have really high debt, really high liabilities, you can have guilt-free spending. The only cases where this could be an issue is like if you have too much debt, too much liabilities. The very first thing here would be to try to pay that debt off as soon as possible. I think that would be like the school of philosophy of Dave Ramsey. He would want you to pay that debt off as soon as possible. And if you're not familiar with Dave Ramsey, he's a financial coach. He's the author of Total Money Makeover. I believe that's the name of the book. But he's a great author, and he's more on the conservative side when it comes to personal finance, and he would want you to pay off that debt as soon as possible. So that's another thing to just keep in mind. The liabilities, your debt, that can be like your student loans, that can be like your mortgage, your car note, any liabilities, any debt. You want to pay that off as soon as possible so you can start investing your money into investments, into assets that are going to give you a bigger return on your investment, and they can pay you back. So let's kind of break down. These are the top 4 categories But this is a great way to kind of stick to your budget. Like I mentioned, we're going to be jumping into these topics a little bit more, and I'm going to be covering the income statement and the balance sheet in the next videos. That's like gold, guys. And I'm also going to be talking about some credit card hacks that you can use so you can build your credit, and you can also have more credit so you can invest into your business. Or if you want to make it other ventures with business or with anything, you have a better credit line, better credit, and you can make more investments with that. If you need a couple of great books that can help you with your personal finance journey, some books that I really enjoy, you can find them in my website at conquermindset.com. There I have books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, some great books, some great tools that can help you with maximizing your money so you can make better business decisions, financial decisions for yourself and for your future. I also have my confidence blueprint there. It's a great blueprint that can help you maximize that confidence ASAP. So check out that blueprint and check out those books. These are some great ways that you can budget that money so you can invest more into your assets. If you're new to my channel, do us both a favor and smash that subscribe button. Also, go ahead and give us a like. I will catch all of you in the next video. Stay strong and keep on conquering. Peace.